Holistic Earth. Exploring the historical and developmental journey of modern Hermeticism. Hermeticism, or Hermetism, is a philosophical and religious system rooted in the purported teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, a Hellenistic amalgamation of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. The teachings of Hermeticism are encapsulated in various writings attributed to Hermes, collectively known as the Hermetica, produced between approximately 300 BCE and 1200 CE. This diverse body of work includes the religio-philosophical Hermetica, with the Corpus Hermeticum and the Asclepius as prominent examples. The term Hermeticism serves as an open-ended descriptor, encompassing a range of philosophical systems drawing on Hermetic writings or subjects associated with Hermes. One notable manifestation is Renaissance Hermeticism, influenced by Marsilio Ficino's and Lodovico Lazzarelli's translations of the Corpus Hermeticum, as well as Paracelsus' integration of astrological, alchemical, and magical Hermetica into a new medical philosophy. While Francis A. Yates' thesis connecting Renaissance Hermeticism to the development of modern science has faced criticism, the impact of Hermetic science, particularly alchemy, on figures like Jan Baptist van Helmont, Robert Boyle, and Isaac Newton is undeniable. Throughout its history, Hermeticism has been intertwined with the concept of a primeval, divine wisdom revealed to ancient sages like Hermes Trismegistus. In the Renaissance, this evolved into the notion of Prisca Theologia, positing a single true theology embedded in ancient writings. Thinkers like Giovanni Pico della Mirandola believed this ancient theology could be reconstructed by studying texts attributed to Hermes, Zoroaster, Orpheus, and others. The idea of a universal perennial philosophy, proposed by Agostino Stucco, further expanded the scope of Hermeticism, transcending specific historical contexts. This broad interpretation of Hermetic knowledge became popular in the occultist movements of the 19th and 20th centuries, despite occasional use of authentic Hermetic texts. In late antiquity, Hermetism emerged parallel to early Christianity, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, and other philosophical currents. The Corpus Hermeticum, dated to the 2nd century or earlier, emphasizes the oneness and goodness of God, soul purification, and the relationship between mind and spirit. Hermetic writings, compiled by Jonas Stobaeus in the 5th century, showcased Hermetic dialogues and discourses. The Renaissance witnessed a resurgence of interest in Hermeticism, sparked by the discovery of the Corpus Hermeticum in 1460 by Leonardo di Pistoia. Despite later linguistic analyses challenging the alleged ancient Egyptian origins of Hermetic texts, figures like Thomas Browne remained staunch advocates of Hermetic philosophy. In the modern era, the discovery of Hermetic texts near Nag Hammadi in 1945 shed light on the Hellenistic mysticism of Hermeticism. Scholars like Gaza Vermes suggest that Hermes Trismegistus was a Hellenized incarnation of the Egyptian deity Thoth, associated with wisdom and gnosis. Gillis Quispel points to the existence of a secret society in Alexandria with Hermetic influences, while Christian Bolt challenges the identification of Alexandria as the birthplace of a Hermetic lodge. Philosophically, the religio-philosophical Hermetica depicts the ultimate reality as God, known by various names like the All, the One, or Mind. God is both the creator and the substance of the cosmos, reflecting the cosmotheological views of the Stoics. Hermeticists uphold the Prisca Theologia doctrine, asserting a single true theology existing in all religions, bestowed by God to humanity in antiquity. The famous Hermetic principle, as above, so below, encapsulates the interconnectedness of the macrocosm and microcosm, emphasizing the unity of the divine and earthly realms. There are 3 disciplines associated with Hermes Trismegistus: alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. Alchemy extends beyond the transmutation of base metals to gold, involving a spiritual exploration of matter and existence. Astrology, rooted in the belief that planetary movements hold metaphorical value, signifies wisdom gained by understanding and navigating celestial influences. Theurgy, a form of divine magic, distinguishes between Goetia, black magic, and theurgy, aligning with divine spirits for spiritual progress. Reincarnation, a concept present in Hermetic texts, raises questions about the soul's journey through various bodies, cycles, and realms. Rebirth, central to Hermetic philosophy, involves a transformative process where individuals shed material vices, becoming someone different from their previous self. Hermeticism addresses the dichotomy of good and evil, attributing their emergence to whether one receives perceptions from God or demons. The concept of the All as both transcendent and immanent reflects the Hermetic view of God as the creator and substance of the cosmos. The cosmogony outlined in Hermetic texts describes God's act of creation, the formation of the four elements, and the organization of the heavens. The fall of man, often depicted as a consequence of aligning with nature and losing touch with the divine, reveals Hermeticism's moral underpinnings. Several religious and philosophical texts contribute to the understanding of Hermeticism, with the Corpus Hermeticum, the Emerald Tablet, and the Asclepius being pivotal. The rich tapestry of Hermetic thought has influenced various literary works, and its resurgence in the 20th century, as seen in the works of authors like Mary and Atwood and members of the Golden Dawn, attests to its enduring appeal. In the context of Hermeticism, the medieval transmission and synthesis of Hermetic teachings played a crucial role in shaping the philosophical landscape of the Middle Ages. The roots of Hermeticism trace back to a religio-philosophical system attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a fusion of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. This system found expression in various Hermetic writings, notably the Corpus Hermeticum and the Asclepius, produced between the 2nd and 3rd centuries CE. During the Middle Ages, Arab scholars played a pivotal role in the transmission and preservation of Hermetic texts. These texts influenced Islamic mysticism and philosophy, contributing to the development of diverse intellectual traditions. The Florentine Academy and the translation movement of the Renaissance marked a revival of Hermeticism in the Western world. Figures like Marsilio Ficino and Lodovico Lazzarelli translated the Corpus Hermeticum, paving the way for a reconciliation between Hermeticism and Christian theology. In the Renaissance, Hermeticism became a catalyst for a wide array of early modern philosophies. The term Renaissance Hermeticism refers to the philosophies inspired by the translations of Hermetic texts. Despite Francis Yates' controversial thesis suggesting a significant role for Hermeticism in the development of modern science, the influence of Hermetic science, particularly in alchemy, persisted in the thoughts of prominent figures such as Jan Baptist van Helmont, Robert Boyle, and Isaac Newton. Throughout its history, Hermeticism was intertwined with the idea of a primeval, divine wisdom revealed to ancient sages like Hermes Trismegistus. In the Renaissance, this evolved into the concept of a prisca theologia, asserting a single, true theology present in various ancient systems. Giovanni Pico della Mirandola and Agostino Stucco contributed to the idea that different traditions embodied the same universal perennial philosophy. However, as Hermeticism progressed, the term Hermetic became more generic, losing specificity in being associated with the purported divine knowledge of ancient Egyptians, particularly in the realms of alchemy and magic. This broad and pseudo-historical use of the term gained popularity in the 19th and 20th centuries, thanks to occultists despite occasional references to authentic Hermetic texts and concepts. The emergence of Hermetic societies and secret orders marked a significant aspect of intellectual and philosophical developments during the Enlightenment period. One influential strand within this realm was Rosicrucianism, a movement rooted in the purported teachings of Hermes Trismegistus. The impact of Rosicrucianism resonated through the Hermetic traditions, leaving a lasting imprint on philosophical thought. Another notable element in the landscape of Hermeticism during the Enlightenment was Freemasonry, an organization that incorporated Hermetic elements into its structure and rituals. The interplay between Hermeticism and Freemasonry added depth to the intellectual and spiritual currents of the time, contributing to a broader understanding of esoteric knowledge. Beyond the realm of secret societies, Hermeticism also played a role in the scientific revolution. The alchemical contributions to early chemistry and the influences of Hermetic thought on natural philosophy were instrumental in shaping the scientific landscape. Figures like Jan Baptist van Helmont, Robert Boyle, and Isaac Newton were among those who drew upon Hermetic principles in their scientific endeavors, highlighting the interconnectedness of Hermeticism with the evolving scientific paradigm. While the thesis proposed by Francis Yates regarding the pivotal role of Renaissance Hermeticism in the development of modern science has been largely rejected, the undeniable influence of Hermetic science, particularly alchemy, on prominent thinkers of the time underscores the intricate relationship between Hermetic philosophy and the scientific revolution. In the Renaissance, thinkers like Giovanni Pico della Mirandola believed in reconstructing this ancient theology by studying writings attributed to Hermes, Zoroaster, Orpheus, Pythagoras, and others. This idea evolved into the concept of a universal perennial philosophy, suggesting a common divine truth present in various religious and philosophical traditions across different periods and places. The term Hermetic in this context lost some of its specificity and became a byword for the purported divine knowledge of ancient Egyptians, especially concerning alchemy and magic. This broader interpretation gained popularity among 19th and 20th century occultists, despite occasional references to authentic Hermetic texts and concepts. Hermeticism's rich history, spanning late antiquity, the Renaissance, and the modern era, showcases its enduring influence on spiritual and cultural landscapes. The widespread adoption of Hermetic principles in diverse movements and artistic expressions attests to its enduring appeal and relevance in the 20th century and beyond. The philosophical dimensions of Hermeticism encompass a rich tapestry of cosmology, metaphysics, and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Rooted in the purported teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, Hermeticism has evolved over centuries, with diverse writings attributed to Hermes contributing to its complex and multifaceted nature. Within the realm of Hermetic philosophy, the concept of the microcosm and macrocosm holds significance. This idea reflects the interconnectedness of the individual, microcosm, with the broader universe, macrocosm, emphasizing a holistic understanding of existence. The religio-philosophical Hermetica, exemplified by the Corpus Hermeticum and the Asclepius, represents a specific strand of Hermetic teaching. This historical form of Hermeticism, sometimes referred to as Hermetism, distinguishes itself from later interpretations inspired by various Hermetic writings. Hermeticism, as a more inclusive term, spans a wide array of philosophical systems drawing on Hermetic writings. Notably, Renaissance Hermeticism, inspired by translations of the Corpus Hermeticum and the integration of astrological, alchemical, and magical elements, played a pivotal role in shaping early modern philosophies. Francis Yates suggested in 1964 that Renaissance Hermeticism significantly influenced the development of modern science, a thesis later largely rejected. Nonetheless, the impact of Hermetic science, particularly in alchemy, on prominent figures like Jan Baptist van Helmont, Robert Boyle, and Isaac Newton has been substantiated. Throughout its history, Hermeticism maintained a close association with the concept of a primeval, divine wisdom revealed to ancient sages. In the Renaissance, this evolved into the notion of Prisca Theologia, asserting a single, true theology present in various ancient systems of thought. This idea further developed into the perennialist perspective, suggesting a universal perennial philosophy underlying diverse religious and philosophical traditions. However, as Hermeticism evolved, the term Hermetic became a broader descriptor, losing specificity and often serving as a byword for the purported divine knowledge of ancient Egyptians, particularly in the context of alchemy and magic. This generic usage gained popularity in the occultist movements of the 19th and 20th centuries, despite occasional reference to authentic Hermetic texts and concepts. The historical trajectory of Hermeticism, from late antiquity through the Renaissance to the modern era, reflects its dynamic and adaptive nature. The interplay of diverse influences, from early Christianity to Gnosticism and Neoplatonism, has shaped the philosophical landscape of Hermeticism, contributing to its enduring appeal and complexity. In exploring the spiritual and religious dimensions of Hermeticism, it becomes evident that Hermetic rituals and practices hold a significant place within this philosophical and religious system. The core teachings of Hermeticism trace back to Hermes Trismegistus, a Hellenistic amalgamation of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. These teachings are encapsulated in various writings attributed to Hermes, collectively known as the Hermetica, produced between approximately 300 BCE and 1200 CE. A distinctive form of Hermetic teaching emerges through the religio-philosophical Hermetica, exemplified by the Corpus Hermeticum and the Asclepius. The term Hermetism is sometimes used more restrictively to denote this specific historical form of Hermetic philosophy. On a broader scale, the term Hermeticism encompasses a spectrum of philosophical systems drawing inspiration from Hermetic writings, including alchemy and mystical subjects associated with Hermes. The Renaissance witnessed the revival of Hermeticism, particularly through Marsilio Ficino's and Lodovico Lazzarelli's translations of the Corpus Hermeticum, contributing to what is known as Renaissance Hermeticism. Francis A. Yates proposed in 1964 that this Hermetic tradition played a crucial role in the development of modern science, a thesis largely contested later. Nevertheless, figures like Jan Baptist van Helmont, Robert Boyle, and Isaac Newton demonstrated the influence of Hermetic science, particularly alchemy, in their thoughts. Throughout its history, Hermeticism maintained a connection with the concept of a primeval, divine wisdom revealed to ancient sages like Hermes Trismegistus. In the Renaissance, this evolved into the idea of Prisca Theologia, asserting a single, true theology dispersed across various ancient systems of thought. This concept further developed into the notion that different religious and philosophical traditions represent different manifestations of the same universal perennial philosophy. The term Hermetic gradually lost specificity in this perennialist context, becoming synonymous with the presumed divine knowledge of ancient Egyptians, especially in the realms of alchemy and magic. This broader, pseudo-historical usage of the term gained popularity in the 19th and 20th centuries among occultists. Examining the historical timeline, Hermetism emerged in late antiquity, aligning with early Christianity, Gnosticism, Neoplatonism, and other mystical traditions. The Corpus Hermeticum, believed to date back to the early 2nd century or earlier, expounds on the oneness of God, soul purification, and the relationship between mind and spirit through dialogues between Hermes Trismegistus and disciples. The Renaissance saw the rediscovery of Hermeticism, facilitated by individuals like Leonardo di Pistoia and Cosimo de' Medici. Isaac Casaubon's linguistic analysis in 1614 challenged the ancient Egyptian origin of Hermetic texts, but enthusiasts like Thomas Browne maintained their philosophical significance. Ralph Cudworth later critiqued Casaubon's dating, highlighting the codification of Hermetic treatises as a late formulation of a pre-existing oral tradition. In the modern era, the discovery of Hermetic texts near Nag Hammadi in 1945, written in Coptic, shed light on Hermeticism's Hellenistic mysticism contemporaneous with the Fourth Gospel. Scholars like Gaza Vermes associated Hermes Trismegistus with the Hellenized reincarnation of the Egyptian deity Thoth, emphasizing the pursuit of gnosis or divine knowledge. Gillis Quispel suggested the existence of a secret society in Alexandria, akin to a Masonic lodge, engaging in rituals, sacred meals, and the study of Hermetic writings. However, Christian Bull contested the identification of Alexandria as the birthplace of a Hermetic lodge, considering it an anachronistic designation. In terms of philosophy, the religio-philosophical Hermetica portrays the ultimate reality using various names like God, Lord, Father, Mind, Nous, the Creator, the All, and the One. God in Hermeticism is both transcendent, as the creator of the cosmos, and immanent, as the created cosmos itself. The Stoics' cosmo-theological views share similarities with Hermetic concepts. The Prisca Theologia doctrine, central to Hermeticism, posits a single, true theology present in all religions and given by God to humanity in antiquity. Hermeticists argue for the Prisca Theologia by appropriating Hermetic teachings within Christianity, suggesting Hermes Trismegistus as a contemporary of Moses or part of a line of ancient figures. The famous Hermetic concept, as above, so below, derived from the Emerald Tablet, signifies the interconnectedness of the divine and the material world. The three parts of the wisdom of the whole universe, as mentioned in the Emerald Tablet, encompass alchemy, astrology, and theurgy. Alchemy, beyond the transmutation of substances, delves into the spiritual aspects of matter and existence. Astrology, in Hermetic thought, interprets the movements of planets as symbols in the mind of the all, influencing but not dictating human actions. Theurgy, seen as the divine aspect of magic, involves alliances with divine spirits for spiritual progress and attainment of divine consciousness. Reincarnation is addressed in Hermetic texts, with Hermes Trismegistus contemplating the journey through multiple bodies, cycles of stars, and bands of demons before returning to the divine. The concept of rebirth is central to Hermetic philosophy, symbolizing a transformative process where individuals, through self-purification, evolve into a new, spiritually advanced state. Hermeticism incorporates a sense of morality, distinguishing between good and evil. In Book 9 of the Corpus Hermeticum, it is emphasized that reason and knowledge, nous, lead to either good or evil, depending on whether one aligns with God or demons. The pursuit of knowledge and the guidance of divine intelligence are seen as pathways to overcoming desire and attaining goodness. The cosmogony of Hermeticism, outlined in the Corpus Hermeticum, involves God's creation of primary matter, the separation of the four elements, and the organization of the cosmos into the seven heavens. The word, logos, emerges, making the heavens spin and giving rise to speechless creatures. The creation of androgynous man, modeled in God's image, leads to the fall of man when nature falls in love with the all, and man, captivated by nature, becomes subject to mortal limitations. An alternative account of the fall of man, found in Isis the prophetess to her son Horus, narrates the creation of human souls by God, their assignment to contribute to life on earth, and their subsequent punishment for overstepping boundaries. Hermes is then tasked with creating physical bodies to imprison the souls as a penalty. Hermetic texts, collectively known as the Hermetica, encompass well-known works such as the Corpus Hermeticum, the Emerald Tablet, and the Asclepius. These texts, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, feature dialogues between Hermes and various individuals, offering insights into spiritual wisdom, alchemy, and mystical teachings. The history of scholarship on the Hermetica reveals fluctuations in academic interest, with renewed attention in the 1990s after a period of relative neglect. The Hermetic Revival, Rosicrucianism, and the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn are later manifestations that incorporated Hermetic philosophy, further influencing mystical traditions and occult practices.